Thank you to the program committee for the opportunity to share about BetterLife FSHD. My name is Amanda Hill. I work at the FSHD Society. And I'm very excited to share this project that we've been building over the last 2 years. And this is something that we hope will help to change and improve the way we research and develop treatments for FSHD. And I am thrilled to unveil this for the very first time to the global clinical and research community. It's called BetterLife FSHD, and it is an innovative new patient-reported registry and engagement tool. Okay. So BetterLife is, for the patient community, both a health and research platform. It brings together lived experience and real-world data to accelerate disease understanding, trial readiness, and future access to therapies. Importantly, BetterLife was designed to be a helpful, engaging resource and tool for people living with FSHD, and not just a data collection platform. In BetterLife, participants are able to learn about their FSHD, to track their symptoms and health, to interact with their data and with data from others on the platform, and contribute to research, both directly by sharing data through registry-based surveys, and also by finding and being matched to trials and studies that they may be eligible for. Figure this out. Okay. So from the beginning, we built BetterLife with the community and not just for it. Over the course of about 2 years, we worked closely with multiple different stakeholders: patients and families, researchers, clinicians, industry sponsors, and outside subject matter experts to ensure that this platform would be rigorous and research ready while retaining what's important most to the patient community. One of the things we did during this time was that we ran 9 different focus groups with patients and their caregivers. And these groups included folks from a wide variety of ages, disease stages, and perspectives. And we asked them about everything from how they would want this platform to look and feel, what kinds of data they were interested in tracking, what feels empowering to them, and how to make participating in something like this actually meaningful. And towards the end of one of our very first focus groups, a very powerful moment that stood out to us, someone posed the question: how does this registry actually empower someone with FSHD? And that question became our guiding star, and we've carried that spirit forward in every decision that we've made since then. So our mission is to be the transformational platform for all people with FSHD to take control of their own health journey. Our vision for BetterLife is that it could strengthen the global FSHD community by providing value and connection to all stakeholders through patient engagement, through real-world data, and through global collaboration. And our program goals are, first and foremost, to help patients live a better life with FSHD. And secondly, to speed and improve research and therapeutic development. And these goals really reflect our core philosophy, which is that if we can provide immediate, tangible value to participants, this will actually lead to more engagement, more complete, higher quality, and longer-term data collection over a longer term, and that really helps speed research and therapeutic development. And providing that value to the participants is going to be a very long-term, ongoing piece of work. But we have completed and released what we consider the first phase of this as of January of this year. And so I want to quickly highlight for you some of the features on the platform that the patient community get to interact with. So when a participant first logs in, one of the first things they see is an activity feed that gives them prompts when registry surveys are available or when other important activities are available for them. Participants are incentivized to complete surveys and other activities through a badging system that provides some reward and a little bit of competition with other participants. Participants also receive a searchable feed of resources that's generated from the FSHD Society Patient Library, and this feed becomes customized to people as they respond to surveys. So for example, as we learn that someone uses exercise regularly as part of their management routine, or we learn that they wear AFOs or they have children with FSHD, this will bring relevant resources to them to the top of their feed. One of our most popular features right now is called community polling. This is actually a place where participants can write in their own questions that they want to know of others on the platform. And people can respond to this, and participants see those answers come through in real time. We also have a health tracking feature where folks can track up to daily, if it's of interest to them, on a very simple scale of 1 to 10, how they're being impacted by their muscle weakness, by their fatigue and their pain, and over time they can look at their trends of this data. And finally, we have a research opportunity page that pulls in studies listed on clinicaltrials.gov and makes them very easily searchable and filterable for participants. And for studies that are actively enrolling or recruiting soon, we actually provide personalized matching based on their posted inclusion-exclusion criteria, which helps participants to understand whether they might be a good match, a possible match, or definitely not a match for upcoming studies. So we launched BetterLife late last summer in 2024. It's currently in the United States only, for anyone with FSHD age 1 and older. And we've seen a really initial positive and strong response from the community. So as of about a week ago, we had just over 550 participants enrolled from 46 states in the US. And those participants have completed well over 2,700 surveys already. About 9 out of every 10 participants say they are likely or very likely to recommend this to another friend or family member with FSHD. And though we are still in our very early days, we have been successful in supporting recruitment into 5 external studies for both academic and industry partners via that research opportunity matching and via targeted patient finding and communication. So what do participants actually think of this so far? So we've been in very close contact with the community, and we've seen that folks are already describing BetterLife as very much a trusted place where they find information, they feel like they have a sense of community, and they're able to contribute to research. So I have on the screen quotes from several participants. Some people describe this as very informative. They love that it's a one-stop shop for all things FSHD. Or they say that they love how much they have learned from this website. Others I mentioned talk about that sense of community, how impactful a resource like this is after having navigated their disease alone for so many years, and that they're excited and hopeful to be part of what they consider a growing community. And many are excited to contribute data with a professional group they feel they can trust, and in a way that they feel confident will help move us all forward. So the data collected by BetterLife is all patient reported. It is structured and it's longitudinal data covering multiple domains, including demographics, genetics, mobility and function, sleep, pain, mental health, diet and exercise, healthcare utilization, social determinants of health, and preferences for clinical trials. And wherever possible, we are using validated patient-reported outcome measures, such as the PROMIS forms, or we use individual question items from other validated surveys, such as public health surveys administered by the Centers for Disease Control. And participants provide this data by filling out a series of topical-based surveys, and they're spaced out over time to reduce survey fatigue. So we start with some of the most important elements and work down the line there. Now, of course, very rigorous governance of this data set is essential to protect privacy, to ensure mission-aligned data use, and to continue to build and deepen the trust with the patient community. All of the data collection is IRB approved, and participants complete a clear, plain language consent process. Our platform, the data collection platform we use, is HIPAA and GDPR compliant, and the steering committee is in place to review all requests for data and for collaborations using the platform. So the data that we collect really enables very broad research use cases for the community, from trial planning and feasibility to natural history studies, health-related quality of life, and even economic outcomes research. So researchers, that is all of you in this room, can use this data to do things like size cohorts, test inclusion-exclusion criteria, and understand how different subgroups may experience the disease. You can explore trends in patient-reported experiences, such as changes in pain, activities of daily living, mental health, and how people are adapting and managing the disease in real time. So for example, how many adults with FSHD can walk independently but are actually using assistive devices? Which ones are they using and how effective do they feel they are? We can answer all those questions. And as new treatments are approved, BetterLife will enable monitoring of the real-world impact of those therapies. Now, if you're thinking, this sounds really interesting, how do I learn more? How do I access this data? I have a very exciting response for you. I'm happy to introduce this afternoon, the BetterLife FSHD Research Gateway. And we have built this for the research community to make it easy to explore and request data. This is a centralized hub where you can interact with the BetterLife platform in real time. So in the Research Gateway, you can explore cohort insights through interactive real-time data visualizations. You can browse available data fields, make requests for data, and connect with the BetterLife team to learn about ways that you can design custom studies using this platform. And so I have a quick video to give a little demo of what the gateway looks like. When you log into the BetterLife FSHD Research Gateway, you land here on the dashboard. There's some helpful instructions here about how to use the platform. And then as you scroll down, you see information about the cohort, including numbers of participants, and then key charts and graphs describing the demographics, such as age, sex, race, and ethnicity, diagnosis and health history, including type of FSHD, number of repeats, common comorbidities and medications used, and information about disease progression, including ambulation, shoulder abduction, and assistive devices or wheelchair use. You can slice and dice the cohort by using filters. So, for example, let's say I'm only interested in type 1 FSHD. I can come over here and make that selection, and the charts and graphs will update automatically. I can save this filter for future use if I would like to, and I can always come back and apply it later on. Once I've filtered my cohort to the group that I'm interested in, come over to the View Data tab and view the data that's available for request. So these details all of the different topical surveys that participants fill out. And there's numbers reporting here how many participants have done this survey to help support your analyses. So for example, let's say I want to go to the FSHD progression survey, and I'm really interested in mobility. So I find the leg assessment, and I want to take all of these fields. I can check all of them. And I'm also interested in this mobility assessment. There's a few questions here. Once you've selected these, you can again save your data selections of interest. So you can come back to them at a later time. And importantly, once you have figured out a cohort and some data that you're interested in, you can make a new request using that data. So you can start a new request with those filter selections. This brings you to a new request form. You can also access this from your navigation up here and start a new request. But from here, you'll fill out some key information about your request. So let's see, I've got mobility data that I'm interested in. And this can be either an aggregate or row level data request. You can also use this form to request recruitment or marketing support for a study. So let's say I want some row level data. It's going to populate all the fields that I need to fill out here. And I'm going to scroll down and just show you very quickly. One of the ways that you can tell us the data and the inclusion exclusion criteria that you're interested in is by using the Research Gateway dashboard tools. And because I already started the request with those filters on, this is pre-selected and my cohort filters and data selections have already been applied, but I can always edit them here. Once I've filled out everything in the form, I can either save the draft or submit request. I'm going to go ahead and save this draft, and you can see here's my mobility data draft that's been saved, and I can view and edit this at any time. The last thing I want to point out here is this resources page. This is where you can access a comprehensive data dictionary of all the fields collected by BetterLife, as well as our informed consent form and our protocol to reference if helpful. So that's the Research Gateway. We're so excited for you to use it and can't wait to hear about your feedback. Thank you. Great. So that is the BetterLife Research Gateway, and it is ready for use. So if you are a researcher or an industry partner, I invite you to register for the Research Gateway to access that patient voice and that patient data. If you're a clinician in the US, please share BetterLife with your FSHD patients. Your recommendation carries weight, and it helps people contribute to research while gaining helpful insights into their own journey. And while I didn't have time to talk about it today, I do want to quickly note that BetterLife is launching in Canada later this year in partnership with the Canadian Neuromuscular Disease Registry and the FSHD Canada Foundation. And we're very actively exploring ways in which BetterLife could support or supplement the work of patient organizations, clinics, and other registries globally, particularly with the tools and the interface that we've built for the patient community. So none of this would be possible, of course, without the commitment and dedication of this very community, including many of you in this room. I want to say a very special thank you to all of the BetterLife participants and their families, and our participant ambassadors who have helped spread the word about BetterLife in the community, and the patients and caregivers who spent many hours in our many focus groups giving us feedback. I also want to say thank you to the team at Lumio. They are a technical partner and platform provider, and everyone who has contributed in our multi-stakeholder consortium, and they have provided strategic guidance and input over the last couple years. So I have QR codes here on the screen, one that links to the Research Gateway, one that goes to the patient website if you're interested in looking at that. And altogether, we're building this new resource that's grounded in real value for patients and real-world experience. And not to be cheesy, but in the end, I would say that better data leads to better research, and that ultimately leads to a better life for everyone living with FSHD. Thank you.